Welcome everybody to the Genesis Mindset. In this particular episode, I'm going to be looking at Richard Hart's Die Hard tweet, which has caused a big stir in the pDAI community, and how basically his Die Hard tweet was about inflation and printing, and then obviously with inflation and printing there's tax, and then with tax there's just this massive Ponzi scheme, and the people who dominate this Ponzi scheme is a private company called the Federal Reserve. So to be perfectly honest, I don't mind tax. I live in Australia. It's a great country because of the tax. But at the same time, I would like to choose where my tax goes. But with that, I think a better form of tax is the kind of tokens we have on Pulsechain. So Pulsechain has seen a renaissance of tax tokens. So what I'm going to be doing is I will be looking at some of tax tokens today. So pDAI tax tokens, and why still the token itself might be better than buying the actual token itself. At some point, the printing from this token is going to be better than holding the actual token that it gives out. So first, rewards and reflections. So I just want to make this clear. So rewards gives tokens based on whatever you put into the contract. So for example, with my particular token, I made the reward with pDAI. Now, A1A is a reflections token because it gives A1A tokens. So it makes it a reflection token. Same as PulsePup. You're getting it in PulsePup. So I just want to make that very clear on reflections versus rewards, because there is the confusion with the kind of language. So basically, I'm going to be looking at this new ecosystem that's popped up. And I will say, full disclosure, these boys have been in my DMs for a very, very long time. And just recently, they had launched tokens. They sent me some. They said, can you please talk about it? I said, all right, look, I'll talk about it, but I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I'm not going to get up here and say, hey, look at these tokens, buy these tokens, they're so great. I'm going to give my honest opinion. So whether they like it or not, I apologize in advance. Whether this FUDs it out or pumps it, I take no responsibility. And on that, it's inevitable, but please stop using me as a buy signal. That's not what this channel is about. I've made that clear from day one. I'm not a channel that talks about things for you to buy and then rushing in, like you saw with the new tokens that Maria launched the other day. Maria's probably using me as a dump, seeing that I'm doing these videos, and then you guys are rushing into it and then dumping on you guys. So you have to really be careful of that, and you have to take the responsibility for yourself. So I just want to be very clear on that. So all right, so with that, let's get this oh shit, dark screen. I hate it so much. I hate my dark background, but I just do it for you guys. Everything I'm doing like, even, man, all the DMs and stuff that I get, like, I really am a sucker for trying to help people. So yeah, there's going to come a point where I'm probably going to have to stop answering DMs and Telegram stuff, because yeah, some of the questions that I get, I don't want to be answering what's a good buy, or like, yeah, I don't want to be answering this type of stuff. It's not what I'm about, really. Genesis mindset is my number one thing. So Richard said gas was 75 cents a gallon in Die Hard, so now it's $3. So really, yeah, that's a 4x. Why? Because they print dollars out of thin air like a joke. Bitcoin was invented to solve this problem, and is the best performing asset in the known history of the universe. Its market cap is over $2 trillion. So then the pDAI community obviously took this, this whole, like, Richard is communicating with us through the blockchain, and there is the Die Hard token. So I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. So I'm going to be breaking up today's reasonably sort of nerdy discussion with some good memes. So I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but this was made by Vivian, and this is one of the best videos ever. So I'm going to put this here. I'm going to play this now. Hopefully it's nice and clear.
We thank you one and all and wish you a Merry Pulse Xmas and a Happy New Year.
It's Christmas Eve on Pulsechain. But the corrupt SEC.
You want money? What kind of terrorist are you?
Who said we were terrorists?
Had their own holiday plans.
But I'm telling you, you just got to kill.
Okay. We do it the hard way.
But the one thing they didn't plan on was Pulsechain founder Richard Hart.
Got invited to the Christmas party by mistake. Who knew?
You really think you can pay us, Mr. Moon Boy?
Your daddy, motherfucker.
We need regulation and you'll have it.
They have already rugged one hostage.
Dude, you only took charge of recording.
Maybe right now, like I'm ordering a pizza. Come on, back to Saturday.
Are there any dollars backing this?
Are you begging for a pegging?
Holy shit, Maria, what the teddy bear will sack that fucking doing up there? Holy harsh law. They are turning out lines against you, idiot. Just freeze all his bank accounts. The bridge.
We can. Get wrecked.
It's an easy way to hack.
Welcome to the party, pal.
And a hard meme coin to G. Richard Hart, die-hard cultist believers. You can't get that anywhere else, right? You just can't. You literally can't get that anywhere else. It's not an imaginary thing. It's a full-length pirate deepfake meme movie shitpost live streaming this December. Pictures, hold and receive DAI.
All right, so this was made by AI as well here. Look, I love that, but as Sunny says here, don't want people to start scanning the QR code. So that QR code does take you to the Die Hard, but yeah, of course, like just be mindful of these sorts of things. I mean, that was Vivian launched this 8 months ago. It's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And actually, you know what? I'm going to put this in the chat because it's so good. It's still my favorite. It's so good. It's so funny. It's like Vivian does some awesome things. So yeah. Like some of the faces in there. Even this just clicked. I think one of them was when I said the teddy bear thing. I think I didn't realize that's Maria. That's Maria. But you know, really think about this as well, by the way. I mean, like think about what it means for someone. I mean, the Federal Reserve is a privately owned company. So basically the whole United States dollar is being propped up by private companies, the banking system. So think about what this means when, I mean, you can go down the conspiracy theorist rabbit hole, but, you know, JFK getting assassinated when he tried to abolish the Federal Reserve, the Titanic being sunk when there was people on there who were trying to abolish the Federal Reserve. Like, you can really go down that rabbit hole. And, I mean, you think about the lengths that people go to protect their wealth and grow their wealth and start wars and kill each other and murder each other. You know, like, if what is happening on Pulsechain is what we believe is happening, then yeah, the people that are doing this for all of us, yeah, I think we should really start to be a little bit more respectful as well, to be honest, because I mean, if Richard is really behind this, then I mean, yeah, his life is probably under threat as well. Let's be perfectly honest. Let's be perfectly honest. If you're creating a system that basically negates the relevancy of the US dollar, then that's a big problem. That's a huge problem. So anyway, some of these tokens. So again, like I said, I own some of these tokens and they're just brand new. And this is probably one of the first things about them that I noticed is, okay, the charts with tax tokens. So, okay, so first of all, with tax tokens, basically you see everything here, sells and buys. So a tax token is anytime that there is a sell and a buy, depending on the percentage of the tax, that goes to reward the holders, or depends on however they've set up the tax system. So, for example, with I don't know what they are on these particular ones. Oh, here we go. So they've got it on here. So the strongest community on Pulsechain is here. So income is a revolutionary token that rewards holders through a unique 12% buy-sell tax structure. So that means if I was to buy $100 of this, $12 would straight away go towards tax, and then that $12 would get divided up into whoever holds the tokens. So based on whatever percentages that they have. So then if it was 1% tax, then it would be a 1%. $1 out of 100, so on and so forth. So there's also an art to how you do this as well. So for example, if the tax is too big, so if the tax was like 30%, 40%, then obviously the magic in this is with bots. The magic in this is with the liquidity pools that you have and the amount of arbitrage that can occur between the liquidity pools, which then pays out the holders. So if the tax is too high, then the bots aren't necessarily going to be arbitraging between the pools, which means that there's going to be little to no taxes being paid out to the holders. So this is the first thing that you need to keep in mind. And I have had a few people ask me about tax tokens. So this is also a really good lesson. I mean, actually, first of all, I'm not an expert, first of all, on tax tokens. I only really am reporting on things that I understand about them, but take everything that I say with a grain of salt, please, first and foremost. So yeah, and also welcome everybody. So Thanks, man. Thanks, Brewmaster Jerry. I appreciate the support, man. 95 people watching. So one thing I'm conscious of is the length of time. These are going way too long. Like the last one was 3 hours. The Atropa movement ones are cool. They're cool. I don't mind them being long, but when I'm just talking by myself, they go too long. So thank you, Mr. Rock Jockey, Fatina. Nice to see you. Sounds like people were end the Fed, peg pDAI. Yeah, man. Definitely. I don't think it's going to end the Fed, but it's another step in the right direction of ending the Fed. Like it's a really parasitic organization. But you know what? Like, what's up, Audio Tax? But you know, like we think that we're going to somehow like save the planet with Pulsechain. I'm sorry to say, we have the same minds here that lead the Federal Reserve. So the same problems that exist there eventually are going to proliferate in this ecosystem. And I can see it all from a mile away. It's so clear to see the self-centeredness, the greed. It's like, oh man, it actually makes me like, when I say it makes me sick, I mean quite literally, because of my empathetic nature. It actually really literally makes me feel sick. Like my body's just not able to handle, like, and I'm addicted too much to Twitter, to be honest, and I'm just not able to handle it because it's like these people. So anyway, they have a supply of 420. Now, also with charts, going up and going down is not necessarily. I mean, of course, you want a chart to go up and to the right, but the way that the liquidity pools are set up can actually. I mean, if you have the right kind of liquidity pool set up and arbitrage, it can just go up with the system. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to see it dump or go up and down a lot, because I mean this chart probably doesn't look too promising, admittedly so, but at the same time, a lot of like Sonny's tokens, who was the innovator of the tax tokens, he saw, I think, what was it, Safe Moon, and then he saw an opportunity on Pulsechain because of the low gas fees. So then with the arbitrage, he actually took advantage of the arbitrage bots with his particular system. So selling is not a bad thing. When they get sold down, it's not a bad thing. It actually, I mean, if you like to buy, then it's a good thing, right? But selling is also rewarding out the holders. So this is the thing. That's why it's not necessarily a massively sort of, it's not necessarily a bad thing. So I'm not going to, I didn't give the contract addresses for these, but you guys can find these. And again, this is by no means a comprehensive analysis on tax tokens, because there's so many. There's another one that got launched incognito. I believe who is it? The Mandalorian, Pulsechain crew. They have lots and lots of tokens that are doing really well. Sunny's got whole ecosystems around tax tokens, and people now are really starting to build tax tokens. But it's almost like, the opportunity is really starting to slip away, because the tokens now are starting to get more expensive. You wanted to start this 6 months ago to a year. Now we're really starting the bull market, or we're sort of like, you could even say we're kind of a third to a quarter to a third of the way through the bull market. So obviously the longer you leave it, the more risky it gets, because the way that you want the tokens to go up is based on the whole system going up, and that's what's going to give the tax. So another one is BTC, so Baron Trump coin. So one thing that's a bit alarming, honestly speaking, in the chart. So, okay, so first of all, this phenomena, that's interesting. So it didn't really happen too much with this, and this is probably why it didn't happen too much. If we have a look at this one here, so this is the Baron Trump token. I wonder how many. Okay, so this is one of the things that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even showing you guys my tokens. So again, I'm not here to shill the tokens, just for the record. I did a video on mine. I don't think I even maybe I shared the contract address or not. I don't even remember, but. I kind of want to show you guys that, to show you what it means when you bond heaps of tokens together. Okay, I'm gonna quickly show this one. I'll show you the phenomena that happens when you bond a lot of tokens together before you launch the contract. That's part of the magic sauce. So I did this 5 months ago, which again, it's like, I mean, you see all these 5 months, 2 days. So I'll just go to, I'll go to the DAI chart. So yeah, this is BTC, Baron Trump coin. I mean, I see a lot of buys and a lot of sells. So I think it's important to like either what I suggested to these guys, and I'm going to suggest now, like really build the trust in one individual token first, and then start to branch out. But then again, that's not necessarily the right thing to do either with tax tokens. It really depends. So, I mean, this is again why I really love Sonny's tax tokens, because it's almost been like this stealth thing that he's never really told anyone about. He only just released the website for A1A, like I think just recently. So, and it was the same as mine. I never wanted people to buy it, but I was just a noob. I was just experimenting. But Sonny like really had it all figured out on pen and paper from the start. So I'll show you what happened. So this phenomena happened. So it could also maybe to some extent happened here, but I'm not 100% sure. But this phenomena happens where there wouldn't have been a lot of buyers coming out of here. But basically, because in the first 2 days, I set up maybe like 150 liquidity pools, and then I launched the token. So I created the token on the blockchain, and then I created all the liquidity pools before any price was even given, before I even launched it, and then I actually launched it so people could buy it. So no one could actually buy it before this point. I set up all the liquidity pools, and then I launched it. And so then as soon as I launch it, basically the arbitrage bots are like just trying to find what the actual price of this token is. And because there's all these 150 liquidity pools that are getting launched at exactly the same time, it's like, okay, we got a deal here, then a deal here, then there's this friction that's occurring. So basically there's this basically like it's like this. The liquidity pools are just like bouncing around, trying to, damn it, I want to try and make it a little bit more, trying to find what is the price of coexist, for example. And then eventually it gets closer and closer to what the value of coexist is. And then finally it kind of finds this equilibrium of the actual value of the token. And then the token just moves up and down with the market. And so what I've done with this particular token is, I mean, yeah, you can basically it moves up and down with the market. You see this token compared to like you see this compared to my Lao token, because I have a lot of the same liquidity pools. So if you look at my Lao token, you'll see exactly the same kind of chart, because I'm selling the tokens into the same kinds of liquidity pools, but also because I seeded the coexistence Stephen Lau token from this, it has a lot of the same kind of liquidity pools. So that's why the charts move together. So the magic is in the liquidity bonding. The magic is in the arbitrage between the bonding, which gives the tax. So yeah, too much tax, it might seem like, oh, awesome, like 12% tax, we're going to get heaps of rewards. But that's not necessarily a good thing, because it means there needs to be more price movement within the liquidity pools to create an arbitrage opportunity, which then gives the tax to pay out the holders. So I hope that makes sense, guys. So yeah, and again, not an expert, just sharing with you what I understand for now. So, and it's cool. These guys are trying. That's what I like. So I wonder how much volume's actually. So yeah, there's no volume flowing through this either, and I don't want there to be. I don't want anyone to buy this. But there's 3K liquidity in this one. Yet 2K liquidity. Market cap, 40K market cap. So the market cap keeps going down. And I suppose the magic that you really want is where the liquidity is bigger than the market cap. So it seems like these guys almost might be up to that stage. As a matter of fact, they're kind of halfway there. So they've done a good job there, which is really good, because obviously when the market cap is really high, it's not necessarily a good thing. So, all right. So didn't get Die Hard because of the high tax. Richard tweet kind of makes me regret. Didn't get Die Hard because of the high tax. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the high tax, yeah. So with that, this is also where I observed that phenomenon, because Sonny airdropped some influencers, and I haven't sold a single one of those tokens, and I never will. So for me, they're just going to be a forever money printer. And I saw the amount of value that came from that, because he did a 10% tax. So if you set up a shitload of liquidity pools and you have a high tax at the start, you're gonna clean up. You're like the amount of, I think I ended up earning like it was like a good 110 to 150,000 pDAI tokens from the 7777 tokens that he ended up airdropping to me. So thank you very much for that, Sonny. So if pDAI ever pegs to $1, it's like, that was like 150K's worth. So yeah, so then obviously when that is less, the tax is less, then obviously you're going to get less rewards. But then obviously there's going to need to be bigger price movements. But this is where the liquidity setups of Sonny's tokens is really something to really pay a lot of attention to. So in a way, I'm doing this also to as a way for others, because I know a lot of people ask me about tax tokens. One of my best friends is asking me about it as well. And it kind of seems like, I'm just make this tax token, put a tax on it, and it will just go up and people will buy it. It's not as simple as that. But really, if you can create the arbitrage, then that's the magic. That's the magic of the system. But even the way that Sunny has done it, there's extra magic implemented into it, which again, it's really only started to click once I've started doing my own. Once I've started to do it for myself. So what's up, DJ Bomber? Good to see you here, man. Zephyr Trips, what's going on, bro? When Peg, Christmas, Die Hard. Let's go, LFG. Oh man, I don't know when Peg. I've made my position clear on that. Sahara, what's Sahara? Not too sure about that. Landscraper, what's going on, man? Morning. So wherever you are, morning, afternoon, night. So love Ink Rewards. Yeah, I mean, Ink Rewards. I mean, this is the thing, right? So the coexist token, I had the reward in DAI stablecoin. Which I don't mind. It's done now, but it's almost like, oh, the real alpha was in a reflections token. I think that would have been the real alpha. But again, it doesn't really matter. I could pump those tokens into the biggest liquidity pool if I wanted to. But I probably will end up doing something like this. But what I've been doing at the moment is I've actually been when I get the DAI, I swap it into affection because it's a good ratio at the moment. And then hopefully when affection and DAI, the ratio gets closer to 1-to-1, then I'll swap the affection back into pDAI. So I'm making more pDAI that way. So DAI Hard is a good one to buy into. You can swing trade your way in and build a bag. It lags with pDAI. Yeah, exactly. So this is what I want to show. It lags with pDAI, and this is the magic sauce that Sunny has done. And I might not be doing Sunny I might be getting things wrong here. I'm only sharing with you my understanding of it. And free is another one. So free is another one from Sunny for P-wrapped Bitcoin. And yeah, I mean, look at, so the background of this particular thing, the thumbnail for this is the diehards. That's the background, like the banner on his Twitter with the two guys doing the arm wrestle. And it's like, oh, I reckon this is why he's doing it, because there is going to be like this arm wrestle between pDAI and P-wrapped Bitcoin to $1. So I'll show you what else he's done, where launching them together does seem like a logical thing, but you have to, it seems like you have to do it properly. So gas for PLS rewards. Yeah, so there's heaps out there. So, okay, gas, here's another one. You get PLS rewards. And again, I'm not going to share any of the contract addresses. You guys can go out and do that research for yourself. Die Hard rewards are awesome. Thanks, Sunny and Steve-O. I think I heard it here first. Oh yeah, no problems, man. Yeah, the Die Hard rewards are freaking awesome. And I also believe, I think there's going to come a time where the Die Hard token it's going to keep going up with or without buyers. That's the way that it's designed. And because of everything else that it's connected to, this is the thing where, I mean, at some point, because of the liquidity setup, the token itself is just going to keep going, and DAI is going to stop moving, right? If it gets to $1, then it's going to stop moving. So it's going to keep printing out the rewards. You're going to get this free printer, but the tax token itself is just going to keep getting carried up with Pulsechain because of the way that the liquidity is set up. So this is the thing that I think people are maybe missing out a little bit on as well. So yep, PLSX Maxi is another one. So there's heaps like this. Sunny's also got Pulse Christmas. I'm spewing. I missed out on that one. So free, yes. Also paying wrapped Bitcoin. Yeah, and look, you know what? If you want to, like, one of the things that I do with this is when I get these tokens, I'm just bang straight back into a liquidity pool. So I'm getting the reward. So again, the reward is the tax. I'm getting the reward in pDAI, I'm getting the reward in P-wrapped Bitcoin, and then I put that straight into a liquidity pool with P-wrapped Bitcoin and pDAI. And yeah, I don't really calculate like, oh, is it, for me, there's not going to be any such thing as impermanent loss because they're both going up and to the right. So Fox Mulder, is there somewhere to see all reflection tokens and their drips in one place? To the best of my knowledge, no. I know, like, for example, Sunny's ecosystem, he would have like, well, maybe like 50 to 100 of these tokens. So if you go to some of his Telegram groups, you'll be able to see them. But I don't think that there's any kind of website with all the different tax tokens on Pulsechain, all the different rewards and reflections. What's going on, Zach? Man, working hard. Good on you, Zachy. Go to work, bro. Earn that money. Stack that bread. Finally caught a live one. What's going on, man? Ye page. Oh, are you the dude who's been DMing me on Twitter? You got the hamster, so I'm assuming it's you. It's the same hamster. So so if that's you, man, nice to see you in here. So all right, so let's actually have a look at the liquidity setup. So this is one thing that I have told them, and I'll tell them again, and this is going to go out to everyone. This one is like it's okay. It has some liquidity pools. There's 25 here, but there really needs to be a lot more. The magic of okay, so basically the problem with what was it, Safe Moon, was that you couldn't do any arbitrage between the pools. So eventually it becomes a token that just goes down, 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 down. So it stops paying out reflections. But with these, the magic of Pulsechain is that the gas is so cheap. So the more liquidity pools you have, as they move in price difference, so as they move in, as the prices move against each other, then it creates an arbitrage opportunity, which creates a swap. And then that swap basically sends out tax to the payers. So there's no buyers, the arbitrage bot is just doing it all for you. So keep that in mind. So the more that you have, the better. The more that you have, the better. And it's really, this is where the whole V1, V2 thing comes into it. So when you have like V2, of course, it's better in terms of that liquidity pool. As volume goes through it, is going to keep growing with V2, whereas V1, it's not. It's only over time, it's just going to get smaller and smaller with V1 because the fees aren't getting left in there when an arbitrage bot swaps through there. It goes to the pulse buy and burn. So what they've done here, this is definitely like one of the first things that I would do. I would make whatever the reward is. I mean, it's better when it's a reflection token, for example, but whatever the reward is, it should be the biggest thing. So for example, like with coexistence, I think DAI is the biggest, or maybe it's not, and it should be. And the reason why it isn't is because I haven't been filling it up with the DAI rewards because I've been swapping into affection. So really that's what I should be doing. So when I swap it back into DAI, I'll put it into there. So yeah, the reward, whatever that is, should be the biggest pool because that's what you're moving with. But yeah, again, this is where the reflections token, this is where the oh man, A1A and B2B, it just like really clicked because as the A1A is paying out tax and it has its biggest holding with, I think, maybe I should look this up before I talk too much on this, but A1A, I'll bring A1A up as well because I think A1A was really like the first one that started this. So, and he kept always talking about like B2B was like the engine that like the booster engine. So A1A I think is 1%, and then B2B is 2%. 1% reflections, and then B2B is because this is an old chart. I mean, look at this now. A1A, it's doing some beautiful things now. You know, and you might, I mean, yeah, even myself, I would have looked at this and gone, oh, look, it's kind of keeps going down, but other things are kind of popping. But now look at it really take off. So, and a lot of this will be to do with the way that the pools are actually set up. So what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to have a quick look at the pools for A1A just very quickly as well. So, all right. So while I bring this up and load, I'm going to go back to these two. And yeah, look, honestly, there needs to be more. And then V1. So there's no V1. So yeah, V1 basically creates like an arbitrage opportunity. So for example, like in all of mine, I'll have Pulsechain V1 and V2. So because Pulsechain is the one that the ARM bots flow through the most. So when you got V1 and V2, if there's a price discrepancy from a lot of the swapping in V2, then the V1 there's going to be a price discrepancy there for more arbitrage. And then, so it just kind of like maximizes the opportunities of arbitrage. So you guys you got one wrapped PLS, which is good, but yeah, I'd do a V1. And then it doesn't look like there's any stable coin. So again, a stable coin is like, you know, it's this steady value that is creating a friction point to arbitrage against. So this will always maintain. This will always be the same, this pool. But as the value of the token that it's bonded with goes up and down, then like it's just about thinking about it from the perspective of like energy and waves and how can you maximize the ripples of these of this system. So Yeah, B2B. So his biggest is with B2B. And holy shit. How much Pulsechain is in there as well? Wow. Holy smokes. Wow. So Pulsechain is like fat. Wow. So he's got a lot of Pulsechain in there. So, oh, wow, that's a lot, man. So yeah, he and Steady Pup, Pulse Pup, Steady Pup, and he's got free. So he's got a lot of his own tokens. And so this is the beautiful thing. Like when you're into this kind of when you're into this and you're in the know with like new tax launches, if you have your own tax token and somebody else is launching a tax token, but they do it where they're launching it with heaps of liquidity pools. Oh, has my thing just crashed? No. Where's my mouse? What's going on with my mouse? Here it is. Why is the mouse not showing here? Wrecked. Why is it? Sorry. There we go. Yeah, so when there's a new tax token, because you're getting all like, so for example, because I did it in that way, I got a ton of volume at the start. So then when this has got a ton of volume and a ton of movement, people will often bond that with their tax token so that they have something that is moving a lot with their tax token, and then it's going to create a ripple of arbitrage through all their pools as well. So this is also where like this is something that PLS Pup does, and I'm going to have Steady Pup this weekend actually. Steady Pup I'm going to do this weekend, same time as what I did the Atropa movement. So Steady Pup, PLS Pup, we're going to be having a look at where his tax token has been, because it's been absolutely going crazy since I did the last stream. So, and he was one of the first ones that really made the concept of arbitrage like what it actually means click in my mind with his explanation of it. So Steady Pup, the pup with the steady nature, is going to be on. We're going to talk about that. So he manages it like an ETF. So whenever there's new token launches, he'll buy it up, he'll pair it with his token, get that initial rip, and then maybe he'll take it out or sell it out or whatever. So he manages it like an ETF. So that's also something that you guys can really think about doing, especially if you're really good traders. I mean, you can really look at new launches and look. Oh, so this is sorry. So you can look at it from that perspective. So yeah, so definitely need more liquidity pools. That's what I'll say here for sure. And then the same here. So definitely need more liquidity pools, because it's the magic of the liquidity pools that gives you the tax. So I think if you're just relying on buyers, that's maybe the problem. And I still think a lot of people have this mindset of like wanting other people to like basically pump the token to pay out the tax. And this is why I made this one, because me and my friend Muddy, we came up, well, basically Muddy came up with the idea of like, what about if you create a token where you just keep all the supply, so all the rewards go to you, and then you just create a system that arbitrages, so you don't actually need anyone to buy the token. So that's what I did with this token. So that's something. Stylo's in the chat. What's going on, Stylo? Good to see you, man. I actually saw you talking about the Pulsechain. So yeah, Stylo does a lot of good calls. So Stylo's, yeah, I mean, Stylo's awesome. I really love Stylo's Twitter. So, but yeah, Stylo actually even, I think Stylo was one of the first ones in, what was it? PLS Reflections, or I think that's where I first got to start to know you. Was it Pulse Reflections, or what was the name of? I can't remember now, but yeah, there was one ages and ages ago. So Stylo's been all over this for a long time. So what's going on, Aaron? Good to see you, man. What are your top three? I'm not going to give those types of answers, bro. Sorry. And as a matter of fact, yeah, all those kinds of questions like what's my favorite thing? Like I really am. I'm not. I'm. Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to be used as a buy signal. I really. It's like an inevitability, because I'm talking about crypto, but it's like even all the things that I cover with the Atropa ecosystem. I was talking about this with my meditation buddy. He's like, okay, so what's the end goal here? So of course the end goal in crypto is to make money, but my channel was really about documenting this journey of having the right mindset leads to success in anything that you do. So I'm applying that to the cryptocurrency market. But I never knew that we would have this system called the Atropa ecosystem. So the way that I'm covering it now is I'm trying to understand what this beautiful, magnificent creation is, which is the first of its kind. It's not about individual tokens within the system. It's about the totality of this. It's like this whole. The Atropa ecosystem is this whole, but everyone keeps looking at the individual tokens and which is the best token to buy. And I'm just like, I don't want to be answering those questions anymore, guys. I'm really sorry. Maybe I'm going to slip up some days and answer those questions by accident. But if I make a video about something, I'm looking at it because I'm trying to understand it and analyze it. So, yeah. What does A1A pays out? Reflection. So A1A pays out in A1A. So if it's a reflection, it reflects in that token. If it's a reward, it pays out a reward in another token. So it pays out in A1A in the Sunny Eco. So 0x Rebel in the Sunny. Was that you that was asking then? Is there? Oh, that was Fox Mulder. Yeah. So it's never a good day to. Oh, yeah. Oh, the boys. Yeah. Some of the boys just don't like each other. This is unfortunate. You know, we're all humans, guys. If we met each other on the street, I guarantee we would like each other. But on Twitter, you know, it's a bit of a different story. So, yeah, this live live, laugh, love. I haven't seen you in here before. Nice to see you, man. So yeah, this is another one. So Federal Reserve, Reserve to Federal Reserve. So I've tried to study this, and I didn't really want to jump the gun on it because, again, if I made a video on it and everyone follows my Atropa content and I make a video, then everyone's going to buy it, and I'm just trying to present this thing like what's actually going on here. And I really want other people to help me with the research as well. This is not easy, guys. Like, yeah, help me research, not figure out what's the best thing to buy. I mean, okay, you guys don't have to help me do anything, but like that's the fun part to me, like trying to discover this thing, which I believe is some kind of like cryptocurrency revolution. So yeah, I do remember that. So come on, boys, let's be nice. Let's be nice. Rising liquidity. Rising liquidity is the key. That's the key of all of these. So that's what all this hinges on, rising liquidity. So all right, let's do a little interlude here. So I have to, Pulsechain DAI just does the best memes. So I have to thank Saint Wolf. So Saint Wolf was sharing these today, and I had to quickly look these up on Twitter because these are just absolutely hilarious. So this is another brilliant one. I'll show a couple of these. So
Dave, what's up? Yeah, so basically I spent the first half of 2023 dollar cost averaging into pDAI on Pulsechain. It was fucking relentless on my part, and I kind of forgot about it there for a few months. Anyhow, I just pulled up Rabby wallet on my computer because MetaMask is fucking trash. And I look set to bag 18 million when pDAI pegs to $1. Bro, like my financial advisor is going to need a financial advisor.
Wow, that's awesome.
You fucking said it.
I hate it when I log into my account. There's $18 million in there. Way to go.
Dave, what's up?
So good. So good. I was laughing so much. I've watched that probably too many times now that I've laughed it out. But yeah, that was another brilliant one. I got one more coming up. I'm trying to break it up, make it a little bit more entertaining. So boys, come on, lads. All right, I'm not going to put these comments up here. The boys are going at it. The boys are going at it, but good to see you, Almighty. Always stirring the pot. I'm new to the Richard Art ecosystem. Can I ask what this ecosystem can solve? Man, you know what? I believe that this ecosystem can solve the puzzle of what cryptocurrency is. So it's almost like Pulsechain is everything that cryptocurrency wants to be. So we talk about like real DeFi. We talk about like, okay, Bitcoin was invented. It was supposed to be this currency, and then it became like gold. Now it's basically like all these people that are trying to tell you it's the greatest investment thing ever. And it's just like Michael Saylor just buying it in the billions, telling you how awesome it is when he's 12 years late. It's like all of these pieces are coming together. And that's what Pulsechain is. So we had Ethereum, which invented smart contracts and Uniswap and all these innovations with decentralized applications. But now the gas fees are too expensive. But Pulsechain now, it's almost like all the pieces of cryptocurrency have come together. Tax tokens, like even what tax tokens were. Now tax tokens have been like perfected on Pulsechain. DeFi has been perfected on Pulsechain. Stable coins are going to be perfected on Pulsechain. The Atropa ecosystem is creating this decentralized financial system with all the instruments of a financial system that none of the other cryptocurrencies have. That's also why I'm like going crazy with the Atropa ecosystem, because I do believe in the future it's going to be like, holy shit, how did we not see this? How did we not understand this? And like, I just happen to be blessed enough to be one of the only ones really talking about it. I didn't discover it as fast as, say, the Verse or Zach or some of these guys. Even Stylo in there really discovered it. Almighty, these guys really discovered it long before I did. But I'm talking about it a lot. I'm really trying to dig deep into it. And I believe, like, in the future, it's going to be like what Ethereum is now. Like, people are just going to be like reveling at the beauty of what the Atropa ecosystem is. Long answer to short answer is the Richard Hart ecosystem solves the problem of decentralized finance. That's what I believe it can do. Check out the maths behind the new 414 project. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's another one. So 414. So that's another one from all these boys. So yeah, again, go have a look. I think DJ Khaled did a video on that. You guys can go out there, do the research, find the links, make sure you look at the proper things. If you really want to go slow, if you want to, I'm not going to put links in the contract addresses, but if you want to see them, like, just put 2 and 2 together, do a search, reference this video. It's, yeah, like, please don't ask me like what contracts and stuff there are, because I mean, if it's a thing that, it's a skill that we have to learn for ourselves, right? I mean, I'll help you learn how to do that skill, but I won't give you the actual answer, because it's just it's a waste of time, right? It's a waste of your time because you haven't learned anything. So when something new comes up, it's going to be the same question. So give it that extra bit of time, learn how to do it for yourself, and that to me is has much more value. So the beauty of the A1A is the B2B that's behind it. So B2B has a 2% tax system. So this is where launching the tokens together is the GOAT move. This is another thing that's really only become apparent, actually, probably right now as I've been talking about it. So yeah, it's something that you guys haven't done. Brilliant that you've done the wrap Bitcoin here. Well, you've done pDAI here, which is really good, actually. So you have done it with pDAI. This one, okay, so you have done it with BTC as well. So you guys have done it on this one. So good move on that one. So yeah, just keep filling up the liquidity pools, create more liquidity pools. That's all I can say. So obviously now as DAI continues to go up, if you guys have a lot of the supply, then you keep filling up that liquidity pool, then it's going to create more liquidity, which is going to create more arbitrage, more movements, and then yeah, just more liquidity pools. So this is another one that the boys did. So income, which gives ink tokens. And again, yeah, same thing, guys. You have some V1, have some more liquidity pools. What I like here is Mike and Kitty. So Almighty, Almighty. So this is I will share this one. Good to see you, Almighty. So I've done a talk with young Almighty quite some time ago on my channel, where he was talking about Mike and his ecosystem. So you guys can go take a look at that as well. So go take a look at that stream. And yeah, I like Almighty. So I have no issues with him. He's a controversial figure, but everyone's got some controversy around their name. So G-Baby to the moon, an awesome coin on Atropa. Knowledge is power. I love G-Baby. So 414 will reward Atropa. But what I love about G-Baby, in the know, it was like Maria was telling us where the price is going to go, like based on the math. And then if you're in the know, then you could have picked that up. And basically all you're doing is just sitting on it and it will just go up. It doesn't even need buyers. And that was the same as we were having a look at stay of proceedings yesterday in the Atropa movement, where it has like tons of liquidity, and like 99% of the tokens are in liquidity. 99% of the tokens are in liquidity. That means that there's no buyer that can dump on you. And if you just buy some of the tokens and you're the only one that holds the tokens, and it's just going to keep going up forever, it's like you don't have anyone to sell against. And it's just, even then, as I'm saying it, it's like, even though it clicked when Sonny said it, it even clicked on a deeper level there where he's saying like nobody actually owns a token. So if you're the only one that buys stay of proceedings, for example, and it's like 32 grand or 33 grand, whatever it was, nobody else can sell it on you because there's no holders, because it's all in liquidity. So as it keeps going up, it can go to $1 million and you're the only holder, and then you can just sell $1 million of the token without destroying the chart. It's, oh man, like that. Yeah. Fuck, like man, this whole ecosystem is just, we're on another level. We're on another level. There's a deeper level of mathematics and quantum mechanics that are happening, with wave math, and like there's just a deeper level on Pulsechain that none of the other blockchains have. And because also we're operating on sort of quantum mathematical level, this is also why there's a lot of synchronicities that happen around this particular blockchain, because it's almost like the quantum is just it's an enigma, but it's like where there is no time. It's just the eternal present. So it's like it's a vacuum that has access to the past and the future, and the past and the future is always just going to be what it's always going to be. And so you get these synchronicities, and it's just a property of the universe just speaking to us in a way. So it's also like, Richard Hart speaking to us on the blockchain. It's really also like, I don't know, man. It's also like another it's like this quantum synchronistic kind of property as well. So, all right. So, Fuad Jalil, I've seen you pose that question in multiple places, and you've been at it for a few days now. Which one is this, Fuad Jalil? Which question? I kind of went on a little bit of a rant there. So crypto is not about making money. It's about front running the inevitable switch of buying power. That's a pretty good point, to be honest. That's a really good point. And this is another thing that I'm hoping Pulsechain creates a solution to with the Atropa ecosystem. This is what I also see there. So when you have, really, like every crypto in the past is just like you buy it, you hold it, and then you dump it, and you just try and beat everybody else to the sell. Whereas it seems like the Atropa ecosystem can be different to that. Now, of course, it's like, well, Maria could just rug the whole thing tomorrow, and that's the risk. But Maria, from the start, has tried to create a system to build that kind of trust based on the logic and the math of the system. And he's come out and he's spoken about these things. So if you still have uncertainties around the Atropa ecosystem, listen to how he talks for a start. Listen to how he talks, and listen not just with your mind, but listen with your heart. And you'll be able to see what kind of a person he is and what kind of a thing that he's trying to build here, that it's for the betterment of humanity. So a lot of people who think, there's a lot of fear around getting rugged in cryptocurrency, and that's of course natural, because there's lots of greed in cryptocurrency. I don't see or feel even a shred of that with Maria. If he was going to rug it, he would have done it already. Richard Hart, if he was going to rug Hex, he would have done it already. Why go through all this pain and suffering? And he could have just rugged it. So people who call it a scam are just, like they are the scammers themselves, which is kind of like the irony. So it'll be interesting to see what gas will be like in the tick of a bull run. It will be interesting because I see it myself. So when pDAI goes ballistic, the volume across the whole chain goes ballistic, which also makes us rise in the TVL. And so the gas also starts to really spike. So it's going to be very interesting how this system kind of plays out in the future, and how much tax kind of gets paid out as well. So what's this? PM, that's his name. One click away. Why does it say PM there? And then, fire. But why? Stu Lover, who? I'm not. You guys might be carrying a conversation there. So crypto is about creating your own door to exit when everyone else is trying to get out of the same door. Crypto wash, love it. That's what I'm trying to do with this token. That's what I'm trying to do with this tax token. That's what I'm trying to do with all my tokens. Okay, so if the whole game is PvP and player versus player, and just like Almighty says, which is very true, that it's about making money, and basically you're trying to front run everybody else essentially before the money goes into somewhere else. But if you create your own liquidity system that goes up with the rest of the market, you're buying those tokens, creating your own liquidity system, you're only selling against yourself. But you're also the liquidity system that you're bonded with. If that all goes down, then your whole token goes down. So it still is a race. It still is a race to the top. That's the thing. It's not like this perfect thing, but because that's just the nature of global markets. That's just the nature of any kind of market. So yeah, it's just how it is. So, but yeah, this is a great comment, I think. So I love that idea that you mentioned earlier of building your own tax arb eco and holding all supply. How thick does LIC need to be for it to be effective? The more the merrier. So the liquidity and coexist might be like, I don't know, 20 or 30, like between 25 to 35K, or maybe, it's in that region. So the more that you have, the better. So, if you look at A1A, but A1A has been doing this for like so long. A1A has been out since a year and 4 months. So that's why the liquidity in A1A is so huge, because I mean there's 8.5 million liquidity in A1A, and actually have a look at the market cap. So the market cap's 5.1 million and the liquidity is 8.8 million. So but he did this super early, so it's still like the opportunity is still there, but you'll never outpace this. You'll never outpace it, because I mean there's nearly 1,000 liquidity pools for a start, and now there's 8.5 million liquidity, but he started with $500. So yeah, the more that you can fill up the liquidity pools yourself, the better. So thanks, man. Appreciate that. So all right, so again, I went over these ones. Income. So same thing, lads. Same thing. FF, Friends Forever. Same, just the too thin. So this is a BFF reward token. And now they have the 414, which is going to be an Atropa reward token. So again, same thing, boys. And I can see that you guys are paying homage to Sunny. But yeah, you're trying to leverage off his system, which is great. That's perfect. No problem. But of course, yeah, more liquidity pools equals more arbitrage. And then the more arbitrage, then the dollar signs in the value in the pool starts to go up more and more with price movement. So yeah, for example, if DAI has a rip, which is what we see, so pDAI has a rip, it goes up, then basically what's going to happen is the value of the token in this pool is going to fluctuate. It's going to, well, it depends on the thickness of the pool, but it'll either get pulled up or it will be a discrepancy with the DAI. But it usually is getting dragged up, but then at the speed of the DAI. So then as the price of the FF, so Friends Forever, moves in that pool, then there's going to be arbitrage between all the other pools, because the token is going to be more expensive in these particular pools, or cheaper, however the ratios are set up with the pools, or how, like, the percentage of the pool is going to, the percentage of the pool versus the amount of the supply of the token is going to determine how much that the price of the token in that pool actually moves. And I haven't actually worked out the specific math on that, but I just know in principle that's what it is. So therefore, let's just say the FF. Okay, so let's say I'll use BFF as the example because it's going to be the easiest, because it's the biggest pool. So that means FF is going to move. If BFF goes up, the value of FF is going to go up a lot. So, I mean, for example, here you can see it very clearly. So this went up and down with the system. This went up and down with it. This went up with the whole pDAI run, and then I was selling into it a lot. So you can really see it move with the market. So it'll be the same. So it'll be the same with this. So BFF, if it moves up with BFF, then the value of the FF token is also going to move up with the BFF. And then it's going to be more expensive. And then the arbitrage is going to say, hey, it's cheaper in here, so I'm going to buy from this particular pool. I'm going to swap it into this pool, and then I'm going to take my profit out of there. So then it's going to leave some value behind here. And in that process as well, it's going to leave a tax behind. And then here, it's going to do the same. And in that process, leave a tax behind that gets distributed to the holders in the reward. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. And then, of course, if the percentage is too high, then you have to get more. So if the reward percentage is too high, so again, if it was like 50%, then in other words, you're going to have to get like basically, well, you're going to have to get at minimum, you're going to have to get a 50%, not even at minimum, because you got so the R bot wants to make its profit, then it needs to pay the gas, then it needs to pay the tax. So let's say if it's a 50% reward, this is going to have to move at minimum 50% plus the tax, and then plus the payment to the R bot itself. So in other words, if the value of FF is like $1 in this, then it's going to have to move like like $1.54 in this pool before the arbitrage is going to actually make that sell, but then make that swap. But actually, no, because it's a buy and a sell, so it's going to have to move 100%. Actually, is that right? It's going to have to move 100% because it's going to buy it from here. It's going to buy it from here, which is a 50%. Then it's going to sell it into here, which is another 50%. So the move is actually going to have to be like, if this is $1 something, then this is going to have to be like, if that's $1, then it's going to have to be at least $2 plus gas, plus the reward, plus the actual R-bot making profit. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. So yeah, boys, make more liquidity pools, a lot more liquidity pools. And and yeah, start bonding the tokens themselves together. Because it's a new system, like depends what the supply is. I think damn it, I didn't have it up here. So I have this one here. Does it tell you the supply here? The pair created. It doesn't actually tell you the supply. Oh, bugger. I think it's like 77. But yeah, the more of the actual, this is where it becomes like an absolute, this one here. I'll just bring up, we'll bring up Baron Trump. We'll just see what the supply is here. And I'll show, and we'll see how much of the supply you guys have got in your other one. So why is that not dark mode? Sorry. On, off, on. Man, I just hate it so much because it like makes some colors like really ugly. I mean, look at this, that horrendous mustard brown color. It's horrendous. My eyes are offended by that color. At least with the white, it's like, okay, yeah, I can still sleep, no problem. So it's no issue for me. So what are we looking at here? So 911. So 911, and then what was the other one that you guys had together? So 911, and then the pDAI princess. So I'll duplicate this. All right, this is already getting towards an hour, so 15 minutes more max. I have to really start being a Nazi with this. And then also I think it's like a bit, I mean, who wants to listen to a dude talk for 3 hours? I don't know how you guys do it. Oh, actually, I don't mind it. I don't mind listening to streams for a few hours if I'm at the gym and stuff, put it on 2x speed. So this is 111 supply. The other one was 911. And then let's see how much of the supply you guys have got here. So Baron Trump, you had pDAI. So you've only got 14 of that 11111 supply in liquidity with this one. So basically, you've got 34 of the tokens in liquidity of 911. That's probably not that good. And then 478 of 1111. So that was the Princess DAI. So yeah, and the Princess DAI has, yeah, not much. There needs to be, I would say there needs to be more for this, for the kind of power that happens with A1A. So A1A and B2B is the biggest pool. And what makes this, again, so great, just my opinion, is token A1A. So the total base combined token is 8.1 million, and the total supply is 10 million. So that means 81% of the tokens are in liquidity. That's really good. That's really good. That's also something that if you're a smart, this is the thing. This is another thing about the Atropa ecosystem, where it's not for people who are looking for pump and dumps. It's for sophisticated investors that want to come along and look for like good things to buy. So when you look at stay of proceedings, where 99% of the supply is in liquidity, you're going to look at that and go, oh, no one can dump on me. I can buy this token, and I can be the only one that's going to buy it. And the leverage, the liquidity is just going to keep carrying the value of my token up. Same as this. The less supply, the less that can be, well, the more that's in supply for a start, you as a seller can't damage the price, and then other sellers can't damage the price. So this has 81% in liquidity, whereas you guys have, what's this, 270 in liquidity. So that was the BTC of 911. So whatever that is. So that's like 20% in liquidity, which is, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Sorry. That was BTC, sorry. So that's 911. So that's more like, yeah, still like 20%. And the other one, 11111. So that was 478. Well, that's not bad, that one. So that's like closer to, that's probably like 40 to 50% in liquidity. So yeah, more like 40%. So yeah, not too bad. But I would have bonded more of these up together, especially if they're new. So if you get a lot of attention, say on the Bitcoin one, then yeah, if you get a lot of attention on this one, then at least it can pump up. Yeah, it can pump up Princess DAI, because as the value of that one's moving up, the value of that pool's fattening, and then it's going to create arbitrage with all of these, which is going to fatten all of these up as well. So yeah, then if you guys have a lot of the rewards, then just keep putting it in the actual keep filling up the pools. obviously with coexistence token, it's a different setup, and I don't know whether it's successful or not. It still remains to be seen, but I'll just show you guys just so you can see. And again, do not buy this. Do not buy this. This is not a buy signal. Don't think just because I have a YouTube channel that I'm going to know how to make all like, oh, he knows what he's talking about, so this is definitely going to go up one day. Don't think like that, because no, please don't. It's really not the way. I could also decide, because I have majority of the supply. This is also something that we missed with. I mean, I can feel the difference in my eyes. I can definitely feel the difference in my eyes, but I just don't mind. So come on, bro. So I did 33333 there. And if you have a look at the holders, because I would look at these sorts of things as well. I would look at these sorts of things. Who are the holders? How much do they have? So yeah, the has 61% of the supply, 68% of the supply, but this is a different setup. The setup here was for this to become like a self bank. That was the setup for this. So everybody else is trying to build ecosystems that they want other people to buy into their token with, and so that's different. So if like this is, it's not designed like this, so it remains to be seen whether this is a success or not. I mean, you know, if I get the amount of pDAI that I've gotten out of it so far, then yeah, it's a pretty good win. But at the same time, would it have been better to just have bought the pDAI and not have bought all these tokens? That's the part that remains to be seen. So it'll be interesting to just kind of keep playing this out. And what I tried to do when I set up these pools is I wanted things that can go down as well. So because if things are going down, then that again, it's creating like friction points for the liquidity pools to actually arbitrage against. So Pulsechain will melt faces as long as it's not mine, because I'll need to see the sell button in time. So $50 gas this cycle. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. When we've seen, I mean, if when the gas goes and if Pulsechain gets up to like $1, like it's going to be pretty heavy. Does 414 have a website? They have a Telegram. I'm not too sure if they got a website or not. So yeah, Steven manifested a tropa. Yeah, I definitely feel that way, Zach. I feel like it was something that came into my life because of my nature. So I'm still wondering what the Richard Heart ecosystem does. Nobody explains why it has value. Not hating, just trying to learn. So Stu, what is it solves the problem of decentralized finance. So if we're actually trying to create financial systems with cryptocurrency, we talk about this. Oh, we're trying to create financial systems, but what is it? It's just mean pump and dump shit everywhere that you look. Solana's just full of shit, pump and dump, trash, crap. You know, like it's just people that are getting their little hits of dopamine and getting their $1 million, buying their Lambos and buying their mansions. Like, what the hell does that solve? What good does that do for the world? It does nothing. It does nothing. It basically just converts 95% of people's liquidity into the hands of like 5%. Like, whoop-de-fucking-do. It makes me sick. It does nothing. It's a load of shit. It's no better. It's no better than penny stocks. It's just trash. It's garbage. It does nothing. It's actually worse than stocks, if you ask me. Whereas, again, Pulsechain, it's creating an actual financial system. So we have, if we get if we get the P stables, I'm thinking now P stables. I'm looking at all these things popping up. I'm looking at Treasury bill, which people are saying is going to get to $1. I'm looking at pDAI. I'm looking at PUSDC. I'm looking at PUSDT. I'm looking at XUSD. I'm looking at all the existing stable coins that we have. I'm looking at a system of stable coins that are in harmony with each other, fluctuating against each other, stabilizing against each other. And I just in my mind, there's like this quantum image that I see in my mind, but I can't explain it. And the way that I just see the whole ecosystem is it actually is a decentralized financial system. So it's not just like, oh, we're DeFi and all you just really are is pump and dumps. We actually are a decentralized financial system where you can exist, you can take your money out of the fiat system and exist within Pulsechain forever. That's how I see it. I think the off-ramps are going to come. I think the businesses are already here. There's going to be like, there's already like a block blend. There's going to be more of this. There's going to be like there's already some serious whales in Pulsechain. Like everyone keeps talking about Richard Heart collateralizing pDAI and all this kind of crap. Well, like what if the OA bags get used for creating an off-ramp, a pool for the off-ramp to go in and out of. Like there's so many options there, but we should have no expectations from the work of others, regardless. But there's lots of whales that, I mean, what if Rackham Michelle and his buddies see an opportunity and the SEC case gets cleared and they've got millions of dollars and they're like, wow, this is actually a decentralized financial system where people can borrow, lend. It's not just full of pump and dumps. It's performing like a stock market. It has all the instruments of a financial ecosystem, which is what the Atropa ecosystem has. It has like a wealth of P-stable coins. Like this actually is not Solana, where it's like, oh, Solana's so great and the VCs are there. And the VCs are there to take advantage of everybody, just for the record. They know precisely what it takes to get a coin to pump, and they know precisely when to dump. They're the ones that are dumping on everybody, so they know all about it. Whereas this is different. This is a different game. So Rackham Michelle and his rich buddies could go, you know what? This is actually something that I trust. I've looked at the long-term. This is actually like an actual financial system. It's not just talking about it. And then I want to create an off-ramp for all of this money because it's in their benefit then. So they create a liquidity pool on the other side. They create, I don't know, Rackham Michelle Bank on the other side that people can then off-ramp. And then so if I want to off-ramp, I don't have to go through a centralized exchange and then go to my bank. I can just purchase one of their cards or whatever, and then I can buy cryptocurrency with that. We also have like love.io. We also have, I know that King Daniel has one where you can pay with cryptos. Like there's businesses that are popping up where you can pay with Pulsechain assets. So we're actually creating a financial system. We're not just talking about it and just doing pump and dumps. We're creating an actual financial system. So again, it's not really, it's like, it's so deep. I can't really just give like a 5-second answer. This is something that the story has been built up in my mind over like a year and a half. I never saw Pulsechain as this. I never saw this before Pulsechain launched. I've only seen it be created before my very eyes. So, I mean, even Mafia now, the Mafia game, like, we're attracting the people that are making the revolutions in all of those industries. So there's he might not want to be doxxed, but very like game developer. He hasn't touched. He's been a game developer for a long time. He's delved into the metaverse. He's got his own ecosystem within Pulsechain. He hasn't ever touched a single cryptocurrency game because he's looking at them going, these are shit. They're not actual like economies. Whereas something like EVE Online, it is actually an economy. It's an actual real economy. That's what's made the game last so long. And so he's seeing Mafia and he's seeing like, this is the first game that I've seen where this is an actual economy that's being created on this. It's not just like Axie Infinity where it goes up and eventually it becomes unsustainable where no one's going to want to play the game because it's just a dump down token. They've actually created an economy in that system. The very first one, I mean, I even love Illuvium, but it doesn't have that in Illuvium. It doesn't have that kind of economy. We're attracting that into Pulsechain. So it's like all the things that cryptocurrency wants to be, what it wants to be, it's the perfection of cryptocurrency is being perfected on Pulsechain. So again, I can't give you a quick answer. That was a huge rant, but I hope that kind of clears things up maybe a little bit more. So it does the same thing ETH does. It's cheap on gases. Yeah, I mean, it does the same thing on ETH does, but again, for me, it perfects what Ethereum is. It perfects it. It perfects what stable coins are. It perfects what Ethereum was. And I mean, even Ethereum is like, in some ways got hijacked by the miners. So yeah, we've really perfected all of that here. So, but it's not to say that we're without flaws, because I mean, you look at, there's still sectors in here that fight and argue. On top of all that, I mean, there's Richard Hart. Exactly. So told you to level at this point. You're just trolling. No, I think they're fair comments. But what does ETH do? And if that's the case, why use it? Serious question. Yeah, I mean, ETH is like a decentralized computer where you can build applications on, but the gas has become too expensive where the applications are just shit. Why would you want to operate on there? So Pulsechain solves that problem. But again, Ethereum doesn't have a liquidity web in the way that Pulsechain does. They don't have an Atropa ecosystem. The Atropa ecosystem is like a huge piece of that puzzle. And I'm trying to work it out. And if I had an economics degree, I reckon I'd be able to, if I had an economics degree, I'd be like, holy shit, if I knew math, if I knew coding, if I had an economics degree, I'd be like, I understand totally what this is. But I don't have an economics degree. But if I did, I reckon the Atropa ecosystem would just be like, I get it. I really get it. I just told you it's deflationary, lower gas fees. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things. So B-Burn, obviously, that must be another one. ETH is a blockchain. That's correct. So P-Minter, it's a truly decentralized financial system. No sucking middlemen. What's up, Ram? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've been listening to my responses or not. I hope that kind of makes things clearer. I'd like to hear what your comments are based on how I've now explained the answer to your question. And again, it's just my opinion. So whether or not I'm right or wrong remains to be seen. So that's it. Here we go. So the boys from 414 must be in here as well. Why invest? That's my question. I'm not trolling. Yeah, why invest? Why invest in anything, really? I mean, why invest? The reason why I invest, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you one of the reasons why I mean, look at this. Look at this chart, bro. Why invest? Look at this chart. Look at this chart. And this is just leveraged on all these other, I mean, sorry, not leveraged, but this is just bonded with all of these other tokens. It's like the stock market. We've taken the concept of the stock market, which is basically just a Ponzi where they print money and just pump it up with the printed money. That's all they're doing. The stock market should have already had a crash long time ago. This is something that Raoul Pal speaks about a lot. But they just keep pumping it up with Federal Reserve money because who benefits from that? All the boys who own all the stocks own the Federal Reserve. So who benefits from creating their own money printing glitch where they just keep printing money and pumping up their own bags? Do you think they want it to crash? No, they don't want it to crash. So why would they want it to crash when they can just keep pumping it up? So it's in their interest to do that. But we're doing that concept on Pulsechain with the Atropa ecosystem, with all the P stables. That concept is here now. So it's like the global financial system has been replicated here in a decentralized way where anyone now can be the owner. So why invest in it? Because you can get at the ground floor of that. That's what I see. That's what I believe, that you're basically getting Amazon when it was $1. So yeah, I mean, all those stocks when they produce something, but really, do they? Like your Amazon stock, it's worth so much. And it's like, okay, you might be getting a dividend, but again, your dividends here is the yield that you're getting if you create a liquidity web. Like all the concepts there are being replicated here. They're not being replicated anywhere else on any other thing. Like, I don't know, Hoktur, like, wow, what a financial instrument. And they talk like, oh, we did this for the utility. Bro, there is no fucking utility. They just want it to be a pump and dump. Like, that's it. And they dress it up with words like utility because it's going to attract other kinds of suckers into it. That's the thing. It really pisses me off. So anyway, yeah, why invest in all of it? So, but anyway, it's good that you guys are having a discussion. But, like people, it sounds to me like Stu Lovell really wants to understand. So I actually, yeah, like let's be kind to each other because I actually like the nature of these questions, to be perfectly honest. Because, yeah, again, no one wants to ask the hard questions or look at things on a deep level. They just want to be blind and say, oh, I'm going to buy this thing and it's going to go up. And anyone who says anything against it is fudding it. We shouldn't. That's the wrong mentality to have, man. Like that's what gets us trapped in all this garbage as well. So I'm wondering if Richard Hart really wants PLS token to make hundreds of X's as the cost will rise rapidly. The longer PLS stays relatively cheap, better for the chain. What's your thoughts? I mean, I agree. Like the longer Pulsechain value stays low, the better it is for the blockchain. So that's what I see. That's my hope also. But yeah, maybe it'll get to a point where, because it's all kind of rising together, that the value of the token is still going to make it worth it with the value of all the assets on Pulsechain as well. So, so Stu, yeah, you're an investor. I kudos to you, man. So I haven't. All right, you guys are arguing here. I'm just going to skip through all these. So you still haven't answered the question. But anyway, did I answer the question? I hope I did. Maybe. So the Richard Hart Souls ecosystem solves a problem. If so, what problem? I'm not sure if you're talking to me or the people in the thing. I don't know if you've been listening to what I've been saying, but I'd be curious to see if you have been listening to what I've been saying. So go watch Richard Hart's post live stream. So I think maybe you guys just want to fight with each other. So anyway, I'll continue because I don't want to go on forever with this. All right, let's do some more memes because this was another absolutely brilliant meme. So man, this dude, pDAI, Pulsechain DAI on Pulsechain, best memes.
went ahead and sold my PlayStation 2 and my Warhammers and my celebrity hair clippings collection so that I could put something into pDAI. My problem is that the mods in the Telegram group won't tell me when it's going to $1 or whether it'll be a slow climb or instant peg. So here I am and 32 bucks at stake, and I'm worrying. Hopefully the devs can do something. So I guess my question is, what can I do to remain calm?
Roger,
Yeah?
at Cornell University, they have an incredible piece of scientific equipment known as the tunneling electron microscope. Now, this microscope is so powerful that by firing electrons, you can actually see images of the atom, the infinitesimally minute building block of our universe. Roger, if I were using that microscope right now, I still wouldn't be able to locate my interest in your problem.
He sold his Warhammers. That was a big mistake. Why would you sell your Warhammers? Bro, Warhammers for the win. All right, so another one here. So these people official petition to have CZ change his name from Chan Peng Zhao to Chang Peg Zhao in support of the pegging. And then Sammy, the Sammy fan club, like everywhere you see Sammy's face now, like it's just so good. It's so good. So yeah, live free. So this is a new one. So if I was creating a tax token, I would just learn from the best. That's what I would do. I'd learn, like, what did Sunny do? What did Sunny do? So he basically launched these tokens, I believe, around about the same time. And as actually, does it tell you when the tokens get launched on the Block Explorer? I don't think it does. I don't think it does. So, but I'll also bring up the charts. So get rid of Co. Let's bring live free. So free. And then what was the other one? Let's do, oh no, that was hard. Sorry. We'll just go to the oldest one. 8 months, 11 days. 8 months. Let's go to this one. Well, I mean, let's do it with the DAI pool, because this is the real, this is like the engine that pushes it. So because I mean, that was something that I didn't think to do. So I'm going to share his contract in the future. By the way, I'm going to get around to doing that because I do have friends. I got people that asked me to do it. Sorry, Claudia. Sorry, Andrew. But basically, the way that he set up the contract is you can stipulate the address that gets the reward. Otherwise, it goes. I believe it goes straight into the pool. So if you don't say where it's going to go, it'll just go into the pool. So for this one, DAI and hard, anytime that the rewards get paid out, it's also going to get paid out in this pool. So when there's any kind of movement, so let's again, okay, what his hard was, I think it's a 10% tax. So that means it's going to have to be a 20% price movement between a pool before an arbitrage happens, plus the gas of both of those, and plus what the bot wants to actually take out of the system, which is usually not that much. It's usually just like a few pennies, a few cents. So therefore, with this one, so then with DAI Hard, for example, anytime, so the DAI Hard pool has, let me just get the percentages so it's nice and clear. So we'll go to holders. So DAI Hard, this is the top one, so 11%. So that means whenever there's, say, a $20 payout, $10 payout, it's going to get $1.10. It's going to get 11% of that going straight into that pool. So then as that pool continues to get fatter and fatter, because it's the biggest holder, of the of all the rewards, that pool is also just going to keep getting the fattest out of all of them. And as the value of the token also goes up, so then as this keeps getting fatter, then it's going to keep raising the price of hard, which is also going to keep creating all these arbitrage opportunities between all the other liquidity pools as well. So then when you have a look at hard, I mean, hard's had a big sell, but it's tied to pDAI value. So I mean, it went crazy with pDAI, and then again it went crazy, and then it's gone down. So it's really tied. So it's really tied a lot to pDAI. So that was against the dollar. Oh man. Oh, interesting. All right. So wow. So that's like a Wow, look how nice and cheap that is. Okay, so I mean, I just look at these as printers, and you might look at that and go, "Oh no," but that was a ton of volume that was going into holders with all that selling. So yeah, that's what Sunny's done. And I was going to bring up, free as well, was it? I try to organize these things into like a clear way, so then as I discuss, I can just go with the flow. But then obviously answering the questions and jumping around, things get a little sporadic. So let's go live free. And then the biggest holder is going to be the wrapped Bitcoin. What's his wrapped Bitcoin? So it's 8.7 with his wrapped Bitcoin pool. And then, so what is it? 6 million, and it was a 21 million. Interesting. All right. So so a lot of this, but I also think a lot of this got distributed out maybe, or I know Hard did. So Hard, okay, one at a time. So 21 million. So what's that? Like, whatever that is, like, so like about 20%, 25% is in liquidity. And then Die Hard, 7.7 million. And then there is 1.3 million in liquidity. So it's like, whatever that is, 15 or so percent, 10, 15% is in liquidity. So yeah, it's like, okay, well, that's more risky to buy because then there's more dumpers. And that's also what can happen here, right? That could be people dumping the chart. So let me also now, whereas A1A, for example, is like majority of it is in liquidity, and I think the biggest holder is Sunny. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, you have to look at and measure these things. It's like looking at Maria's tokens. When Maria has 99% of the supply, is it something that you want to rush into? Probably not. So so this one came after. Interesting. And he would have done the same. So yeah, this one came after. So but again, he basically made the second biggest liquidity pools between them. So he would have put a ton of that supply into this, and that's quite clever, to be honest. So when he did create this, because of all the arbitrage that would have happened when he launched it, then he would have, when he paired free with Die Hard, then it would have really pulled up Die Hard and created all this arbitrage with Die Hard. So you can see it with see again, it's not as clear. Let's look at it more on the daily. I mean, look at all the volume that flows through it, right? So that's a ton of volume on that first day. So that's all the arbitrage. That's from all the arbitrage that's happening to find like an equilibrium between and then it will give like a true value of the token. And then you would have seen the same with Hard. So you see all that volume. Let me look at that. That's all the volume. Whereas again, with these boys, it might have happened with these boys, but it also, it probably has. But based on the scale of this looks more like, okay, we're going to launch this thing, and then people bought it, and then the same people started selling down. Whereas this is a little bit different, right? I mean, yeah, you've got sellers, of course. There's always buyers and sellers, but the scale of the volume is quite different. So, and then this one is even more different. This is probably people going, well, we saw what happened with DAI. We've seen the rewards. We do not want to sell our free, for example. So this is a 5%. This is a 5% on wrapped Bitcoin. So yeah, I have a bit of both of them. And this is look at that. So it's like an arm wrestle between pDAI and wrapped Bitcoin to the pegging. So anyway, there we go. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm just going to see if there's any questions now before thanks, Oliver. I hope this helps pay for your yacht. Yeah, bro. The yacht's coming, man. The yacht's coming. Nah, the yacht's not coming. Not interested in those things, but I appreciate the super chat, man. Helps the channel helps it spread. So Daniel, what's going on, Daniel? So what's up, Hexagons, Tin Top? All right. Thanks a lot for joining, everybody. Short and sweet, but this is not short and sweet. This is an hour and a half, but yeah, tax tokens. All right, there's one question here. How would high gas price affect ARB opportunities? So high gas price would affect ARB opportunities because basically it just means that, well, hang on a minute. it just means that the movement, the price differential between the price movement between the pools. All right, I'm going to share this very quickly so you can actually just see what it means for price differences as well. So now this is with the free pools. So 5%. So I'll swap it into so 0.03782, 0.5. Interesting. And then 0.37 is that correct? Free and hard? Why is that? What? Free? Free is, what have we done there? Should it? Okay, it's just, okay, so it's on free. So yeah, okay, so basically then I wonder if there's going to be any example of an ARB. I mean, I'm not going to be able to know if there's an example of an ARB because I think these are the ARB bots. Like these, yeah, I think all these things are the ARB bots, or just like something to do. So let's have a look at just a couple of examples just very quickly. So basically, obviously, in order to get an ARB, there would have to be, so if this is a 5% tax token, there'd have to be a 10% movement between this pool and another pool. So it's almost like, why is that not creating an ARB opportunity? Because that's more than 10%. Why is the price of that not equalizing? Damn it, man. I mean, this is where it's like, so that's in hard. Maybe that's why. Maybe because it shouldn't be looked at in the 3.6. No. Okay. Yeah, that's really interesting. I can't understand why that is not. Because basically that should be an ARB opportunity right there. Because yeah, I mean, so if we do 0.3782 and then multiply it by what was it? So if it's 5% tax, so that has to be a swap, 5% in one pool and then 5% into the other pool. And then again, okay, let's have a look at the trade first. So let's just, okay, so here it's gone from this Atropa token into free, and then it's gone from and then it's swapped into another. Oh boy. And then I hate when I look at reading the block explorer. It just sucks, man. I'm not going to look at that one because, oh, man. Damn it. Same thing. Damn it. I'll open another one then. I think that's the same one. Look at all this. It's all the same one. Let's have a look. Hopefully this one is just maybe a bit easy to explain. But, yeah, whatever. So some of the boys basically... thanks, Rye. Related question, how do reflection reward tokens deal with gas for their payouts? So it will get deducted from the math. So as I was explaining earlier, as I'm trying to explain now, but goodness sakes, just give me one that it's going to be easy to explain in. What happened? All right, let's just open this one. So yeah, just like some of the boys are saying, our bots will make buy sells even for one pulse. So I can't understand how to read this. Because of all this. I don't understand what this is. I don't understand what's going on there. I think, is that what it's, I mean, that's not paying out all the, maybe the wrap, I mean, that wrap Bitcoin is getting sent somewhere. Maybe that's the way that he set it up. So each, I don't know. So I'm not going to answer that yeah. So I won't say that I understand this, but basically the way that I thought it was going to be, the way that I've seen it with my Lao token, for example, it basically swaps from, say, wrap Bitcoin into free, and then free back into wrap Bitcoin, or like into another pool, but it's showing something different that my brain doesn't understand. So, but basically every time it goes in, then that's a tax. Then it goes out of that pool, that's another tax. And then it will go out of that pool back into itself. So yeah, I've butchered it. I don't know, but essentially the reason why more expensive gas is bad is because it basically means that you have to have more of a price movement for the arbot to want to come through there to take some kind of, to basically get its value out of it. So as the gas starts to increase in value, because basically it will calculate, okay, the percentage of move that it needs to pay for the tax, then the actual value of the gas that it's going to have to pay. So this is what it's deducting out of it. And then on top of that, it's taking its profit. So this is all, it has to pay all this first, and then it takes its profit. So the more that the gas is, the more that the tax is, the more that the movement has to be for it to actually to take that. But then again, I don't understand if that's how it's gonna yeah. So that would be it then. Yeah, that's it. It's as simple as that. So because as the dollar value between the pool differentiates. Okay, I think that's enough now, because that was very poorly explained, but I'll very quickly go through the rest of these. I'm the bank realtor, debt collector, and owner, only possible on Pulsechain. Great comment, GFM. Great comment. So that's exactly what I see with Pulsechain. So when I think it was it Fowd asking those questions before? Oh no, it was somebody else. I think Fowd was answering him. Stu Lovell. So you cannot do this on any other blockchain. You cannot be the bank realtor, debt collector, and owner on any of the other blockchains. Atropins and Diacones, much love to you all. Master Poe, much love to you too, man. It's just larger numbers that are bought and sold. They will run as long as a bot makes money. Even a couple pennies doesn't matter how much the token costs and how much the gas is. I still believe, because if it's going off the dollar value, so with those pools, I mean, this is that stumps me. That stumps me why that difference there is like, that's what we're doing here. So that's 10%. So now, I mean, and then you add that to 0.03782. So, I mean, really, it should be wanting to arb in this. Oh, that's why. Because hard is also a tax token. Fuck yeah. Because hard is also a tax token. So it's also, if it's going to make a swap into there, then it's also doing the hard tax as well. So that's why these ones are more closely priced, because wrap Bitcoin doesn't have a tax. So you can see here, whenever this, whenever that price moves a certain point, 0.37, when that moves like whatever, 10%, so it goes in and it goes out, and it's going to go into another pool or into itself. That's why these are closer, and that's why this one is much bigger, because it has to also calculate the value of the hard tax into its calculation for making profit. So that's why the more expensive the gas is, the more that the dollar value has to actually move for it to make its profit. Boy, that was butchered the absolute shit out of that question, but I think we got there in the end. So say hard is 40 cents in a pool and 30 cents in another. If I can buy in pool 2 for 30 cents, take the tax, and sell in pool 1 and make a profit, I will. But if gas is too high, then it would cost more than you'd make. I mean, that's the simple answer. Thank you, Oliver. If I just said that, I mean, that's what I wanted to say, but I also wanted to kind of show it. But as I showed it, and the Die Hard token just threw me off. So yeah, that just, anyway, you need to factor in also slippage, taxes, and gas into the cost. Exactly. So I've got Die Hard and Live Free and was just wanting to research them more, and boom, Stephen answers. Well, there you go, Billy Mac. The quantum, baby. Love you, bud. Your Lambo's printing. We're going to do donuts in the meditation parking lot. We're going to do donations in the meditation parking lot. Then we're gonna go snort some cocaine, get some hookers, and go on our yacht. What do you reckon? So I suppose the Arbot would just need to buy an amount that is greater than the gas cost for it to be possible. Exactly. So, what's this? Let me just, is that this particular tweet here? 917. That's this one. Yeah. So we started on this one, Anita. We started, sorry, Anna Maria. My apologies. We started on this one. And yeah, so we'll leave it at that. Thanks for joining. Hour and a half, another little long one. So and Pulsechain is the people. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good day. Have a good night.